Welcome back to Gone in Seconds channel, where we dive into the darkest corners of history's most chilling mysteries. Today we are unraveling one of America's most infamous unsolved cases, the brutal murder of Elizabeth Short, forever known as the Black Dahlia. In 1947 Los Angeles, a young woman's dreams of stardom were cut short in a way that shocked the nation. Her body was found mutilated and posed in a vacant lot, sparking a media frenzy and an investigation riddled with dead ends. Who was Elizabeth Short? What led to her gruesome end? And why, after nearly 80 years, does her killer remain at large? Stay with me as we piece together the timeline, the suspects, and the theories that still haunt us today. Elizabeth Short was born on July 29, 1924, in Hyde Park, Boston, the third of 5 daughters in a working-class family. Her early life was marked by hardship. When she was just 5, her father lost everything in the 1929 crash and soon after faked his own death, abandoning the family. Elizabeth's mother raised the girls alone, working as a bookkeeper. As a teenager, Elizabeth suffered severe asthma and bronchitis, even undergoing lung surgery at 15. Doctors recommended a warmer climate, so she began spending winters in Miami, dreaming of escape. Those dreams grew bigger than Florida sunshine. She dropped out of high school and, at 18, learned her father was alive and living in California. She moved west to join him, but constant arguments drove her out again. During World War II, she bounced between jobs on military bases, got arrested once for underage drinking in Santa Barbara, her fingerprints went into the system, and fell deeply in love with an Army Air Force pilot named Matthew Gordon. He proposed in a letter from overseas, then died in a plane crash just days before the war ended. Heartbroken but still chasing glamour, Elizabeth arrived in Hollywood in July 1946. She waitressed, rented cheap rooms, and dated casually. Friends remembered her striking blue eyes, jet black hair, and love of dramatic fashion, which is why the press later nicknamed her the Black Dahlia. Money was always tight. She often relied on acquaintances for a couch or a meal. Her final days began on January 9, 1947. She returned to Los Angeles from San Diego with a married salesman named Robert "Red" Manley. He dropped her at the Biltmore Hotel around 6:30 p.m. Witnesses saw her using a lobby phone, then walking toward a nearby bar. After that, she vanished. 6 days later, on the morning of January 15th, a young mother pushing her toddler in Lymet Park spotted something in a vacant lot on South Norton Avenue. It was Elizabeth's body, naked, severed cleanly at the waist, completely drained of blood and scrubbed clean. Her face had been slashed from ear to ear in a grotesque Glasgow smile. Sections of flesh had been removed from her thighs and breasts. Her intestines were tucked neatly beneath her, and her body was posed, arms raised above her head, legs spread wide. The autopsy showed she had been beaten and possibly raped, but the cause of death was blows to the head and massive cerebral hemorrhage. The bisection happened after death, performed with surgical skill. There was no blood at the scene. She had been killed somewhere else. The discovery exploded across front pages. Reporters turned Elizabeth into a tragic, almost mythical figure, a beautiful drifter murdered by a werewolf killer. The LAPD threw hundreds of officers at the case. Fingerprints from her 1943 arrest identified her quickly. A heel print and a bloody cement sack were found nearby. Then the taunting began. An anonymous caller promised the Los Angeles Examiner souvenirs. Days later, an envelope arrived containing Elizabeth's birth certificate, photographs, and address book, all wiped with gasoline to destroy prints. More letters followed, some signed the Black Dahlia Avenger, promising surrender that never came. Police searched storm drains, rivers, and abandoned buildings. They raided the USC Medical School looking for students with the skill to bisect a body so cleanly. A $10,000 reward was posted. A grand jury later criticized the LAPD for mishandling evidence and witnesses. More than 60 people confessed, almost all obviously false. By spring 1947, the trail had gone cold. Suspects have come and gone for decades. Robert Manley passed multiple lie detector tests and was cleared. Nightclub owner Mark Hansen, whose phone number was in her address book, had made unwanted advances but had an alibi. Dr. George Hodel, a brilliant but disturbed surgeon, became a prime suspect years later when his own son produced 1949 wiretap recordings in which Hodel seemed to say, "Supposin' I did kill the Black Dahlia. They couldn't prove it to me." Bellhop Leslie Dillon, gangster Bugsy Siegel, even Orson Welles have all been accused in books and documentaries, yet none have ever been charged. Theories link the murder to the Cleveland torso killings of the 1930s, to Chicago's lipstick murders, and to a string of unsolved lone woman murders in 1940s Los Angeles. Some researchers believe the crime scene was the nearby Astor Motel, where a room was found soaked in blood the same morning. Others see the surgical precision and theatrical posing as the work of someone who wanted fame almost as much as Elizabeth once did. Almost 80 years later, the Black Dahlia case remains officially unsolved. It helped create California's first sex offender registry and inspired countless books, films, and nightmares. But most of all, it reminds us of a 22-year-old woman who came to Hollywood chasing a dream and instead met unimaginable horror. Elizabeth Short deserved better than to be remembered only as a nickname on a killer's calling card. She was someone's daughter, someone's lost love, someone who believed the movies might save her. Justice has never come for her, but her story refuses to stay buried. What do you think really happened? Drop your theories in the comments. If this case still chills you the way it chills me, give this video a like, share it with another true crime fan, and subscribe so we can keep uncovering the cases that time forgot. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.